Hello and welcome back. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Erin.
And this is the Getaways Podcast. I can't believe that we are ready to start planning fall travel. Like we were just getting into summer and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we have to keep going after summer.
I know,
and keep planning.
Summer's literally just starting. We haven't even left for our summer vacation, but we do have to plan fall.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love fall.
Yeah, no, fall is my favorite season. And what we're going to talk about today was sort of my entree into fall in Europe, I guess, right? And into like the festivals and the events here. And it is probably one of the biggest parties in the world, right?
Yes, I think everybody knows about this party.
And it is Oktoberfest, which isn't actually in October.
Not at all.
Well,
it ends at the very beginning.
It ends in October, but starts like mid to late September. And it is a really fun way to kick off the season, I think.
It's so funny because I remember like in college going to Oktoberfest in Oklahoma, and we went to that one in
Alpine Village.
In Los Angeles. And we just had the best time doing the chicken dance. And who knew that was just like the scratch of what happens
Well,
here.
I did because I'd been there before.
Yes.
But let's start at the beginning. Okay, so it's everywhere now and all over Germany, certainly, and all over a lot of Europe. But the original was in Munich, which is the version that we're going to talk about today. And it was the very first one was in the 1800s.
So Munich is the capital of Bavaria, and Bavaria is like a beautiful mountainous. It's like on the Alps, like the German Alps, basically, wouldn't you say?
In the southern part of Germany. Yeah. Very green, very lush, very pretty.
Amazing. It's like it borders Austria.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And the fun facts about Munich is the BMW headquarters are in Munich.
Okay.
And that's all I've got.
That's a fun fact. Starting with how Oktoberfest started, it was in the early 1800s. And there was the wedding of Prince Ludwig and Princess Teresa. And, you know, if you are royalty in the 1800s, apparently, and you're having the reception of your wedding, you invite the whole city.
Of course you do. Isn't that what Jeff Bezos just did?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no, he didn't invite anybody in the city.
He locked out the city.
And so they had a big public horse race and gave out free food and beer.
Man, I wish I was there.
I know. Well, you know, but you get to kind of experience it every year by going to Munich for the Oktoberfest. So, but anyway, it was such a success that they just decided to do it over and over and over every year. And thank goodness they did, because it's fun.
It is so fun. It is so. I highly suggest, if you get the chance, come for Oktoberfest, because it is like a party like you've never seen before.
Yeah, we went for one of Dylan's birthdays, and I always say he had the biggest birthday party in the world, because it is so big and full of people all there just to have a good time. And there's something very lovely about that.
There is.
It feels very good spirited, all of it. And what struck me the first time, and then when we went together, was that also, you know, I think of maybe because I came from California and LA, that like that kind of stuff in my head feels like a young person's activity.
I agree.
And it's not.
No, at all.
At all. I mean, you will see elderly people, you know, standing on a bench singing "Ole, ole, ole." Like it's literally fun for all ages.
I agree 100%. Should we talk about the first time you went to Oktoberfest, or do you want to talk about facts?
Let's do fun facts first, and then we'll get into the actual trip. So as one might think, the beer served at the beer halls and in the Oktoberfest are all German. And I guess we should describe what the beer halls look like in case people don't know. There'll be pictures up too, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff up on the website, but the beer halls they're not really tents.
Well, they're more permanent structures.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of a tent. Huge, with at least one fairly ginormous stage, either in the middle or on an end.
But usually two.
Yeah.
Like that big.
And then big, like, as far as the eye can see, long picnic tables, basically, with benches. And they're communal tables, and they are, you know, I don't even know, like hundreds of people per side.
One of the bigger ones we went into, you had already gone back with Dylan, I believe, but they also had kind of like stands, but still wood benches, but without the tables.
Uh-huh.
So to just accommodate more people.
Yeah. So, I mean, one tent can hold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's sort of the luck of the draw if you get a seat, if you don't have a reservation.
If you don't have a reservation. We only got seats because it was after 10:30 and they were closing in like an hour.
Yeah. So, and it gets the Oktoberfest gets about 6 million visitors a year.
Okay. 6 million visitors a year in 3 weeks.
And and it spans about 17 to 20 days
crazy.
in there. Yeah.
That's crazy. And the town didn't even feel that busy. Did you think so?
That area felt busy, but the town didn't.
Yeah,
no, I mean,
town.
Munich is a city, I guess. But my favorite thing, and my dad had actually, like, before I went the first time, I remember him talking about this, but I did not get the scope of it. But he was like, "Oh, you got to build up your forearms so you can carry your beer like the women that work there." And he's not kidding. These women are so strong, and they can carry like 12 1-liter Steins. And the Steins themselves are heavy. Before the beer.
Heavy. Yeah, before the beer.
Yeah.
And so I used to wait tables and I could carry some drinks, but I couldn't imagine carrying more than 2 Steins.
And they like...
And these women aren't young. Some of them are not young creatures.
Well, and they... creatures.
Some of these women... Oh, I'm going to rephrase that. Some of these women are not spring chickens.
But they also are not even sweating. They don't even look like they're exerting themselves at all. But yeah, so, for somebody who, and I should say this, I don't drink beer, and I still enjoyed myself. Like,
they do have a wine tent.
Yeah, it's not terrible though. I mean, Germans make decent wine, but
it's not the party.
It's not the party. But that said, I still had a great time. So even if you're not a beer lover or a German beer lover, there's still a good time to be had.
Now, one of the traditions about Oktoberfest is people really go all out and they wear the traditional clothing.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you work there, but most guests do too that are actually German.
Yeah. So the traditional clothing is for the women. It's okay. This is a tough one for me. It's dirndl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think we all know what that looks like with the bodice and the blouse and then the full flowing
like the poly
skirt.
Girl.
Yeah. And then the apron.
Do you know the fun facts about the bows on your apron?
Oh, where you have it? Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if the woman is wearing her bow tied on the left, then that means she's single. If she's wearing it tied on the right, that means she's taken. And if it's at the center,
she's not sure which one.
And if it's tied in the back, that means she's a waitress.
Or a widow.
So
pay attention when you are at Oktoberfest of where you hang your bow.
That's right. And then the other for the boys.
It's the Lederhosen, which again, I think everyone kind of knows. It's the not black. It's the leather sort of tan shorts that are kind of like overalls.
Yeah.
And then a white shirt underneath and often a little hat.
Sometimes the shirts are like Dylan's was green plaid.
Yeah. Okay. So, but like and
a little lumberjack hat. Not a lumberjack. Suspenders with the little bib.
Yeah. Like a short overall kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they say, well, first of all, I always felt like wearing those shorts would be chafy, but then I found out that they don't wash them so often, and that's sort of like a
barrier.
Well, I was going to say that that's like sort of a badge of like how many you've been to by how many stains are on your shorts. I don't know if I'm down with that game.
Because I mean, we bought Dylan's there in Munich.
Yeah, but
it was a nice sturdy leather suede, and it wasn't even that expensive. I didn't feel like. And I got him to wear. I got a 10-year-old boy to wear Lederhosen for a whole day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's part of the spirit.
It's fun.
So yeah. All right. So let's get into the beer and potatoes.
Okay. So let's start with you because you'd always told me about Oktoberfest and you went way before me. So let's hear about your experience.
I did. I was in school in Paris and I went with a bunch of friends for the weekend to Oktoberfest, and we stayed in this, and I wouldn't be able to find it if my life depended on it, but it was a hostel just on the outskirts of Munich, and it was a castle, like literally a castle. And the room that we were in, it was a girl's room, and there were just beds all over on the floor. And there was a van that took people back and forth to the Oktoberfest, and it was like 12. I think it was Deutschmarks then. Don't tell anybody how old I am. But I think it was like the equivalent of like 12 euro or dollars a night. So completely crazy affordable. And, when we spent all day at Oktoberfest, and it was just a great time. I mean, plus I was young, and there was, but I didn't even drink beer then. And I'll tell you a story about not drinking beer. So I wanted to take Advil because I was just tired and wanted to take Advil. And I could not find water anywhere in the entire place. It was beer, or the other option they gave me was lemonade.
At the hostel?
At the hostel. And then we went to the train station because we were actually leaving the morning that I was trying to find it. And I went to like 2 shops, and they're like, water? Like, I was crazy. I was like, I just need water. But you can drink the water. They drink the water out of the faucet there. So that's probably why they were looking at me like I was crazy. But it just makes me laugh because that was my like intro into Germany. It was like, you can't find water anywhere.
That's funny. But there's plenty of beer.
Plenty of beer. Plenty of pretzels, which are delightful, but they call them bretzels. And sausages.
Yeah.
Which I think we had our fill of all of those things. So anyway, but I was only there for a couple of days. Really loved it. Really had a great time. And I walked away with a feeling of everybody should go to Oktoberfest once in their life because it's unlike anything else I had ever done or been exposed to or been a part of. That was the first trip. And then when we were in Florence and we were getting ready to celebrate Dylan's 10th birthday.
We had just moved. We'd been there 2 months.
Yeah. It seemed like the perfect thing to do. And
because doesn't everybody celebrate their 10th birthday at Oktoberfest?
Wearing Lederhosen. And then your brother and nephew and my nephew all met. We all met in Munich.
Yeah. We stayed at the Marriott near the thing. And even being in that bar was fun.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Like the party kept going. Like everybody
started there and kept going.
Yeah,
there.
Because when we went back to the hotel, everybody was just hanging out in the bar at the hotel, and like people are just randomly talking. I mean, like you meet someone from every part of the world, and like you just get talking. And the waiters were all like, asking questions and engaging with everybody. It was like being in Cheers.
Yeah. So while you and Dylan rode some rides, my brother Jonathan and my nephew, we all went to a beer hall, and we got lucky. The first one we didn't get so lucky yet. We kind of got a seat. We had a beer, and then but it was really crowded, so we decided to go to another one. And it was like 10:30 at night, and there's like stadium seating kind of benches, and we got a row of seats up at the top, and we had a good time.
Yeah. I mean, the beer halls have, like I said, there's stages. And so there's bands that are playing like, they'll do covers or they'll do traditional German music. There's a lot of standing on the tables, a lot of singing and dancing and stomping.
Like nonstop, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like I said before too, it's very communal. Like everybody's swaying together and got their arms around each other and is holding their beer up and singing and dancing. And, I mean, when I went as a 20-year-old, I don't even know how it happened, but like our entire table, so probably 100 people, ended up on stage and, people singing into the microphone. Like it's just.
Oh, I wish we would have done that.
It's just fun. It's just,
fun,
it's like there's no inhibition, and it's not just because of the copious amounts of beer. It's a really fun atmosphere where everybody kind of lets go and lets loose and has a good time.
Yeah. Now, I don't believe Dylan was allowed in the beer halls, was he?
He went in with one because we all went in, and I think we got sausages there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
that was a very mellow beer hall.
Yeah, that was like the family hall.
Yeah.
But there's food everywhere too, like outside and inside. There's tons of places to get all kinds of food in the carnival area, which is the other part of it. So there's the beer halls and all of that where everybody's kind of hanging out. And then there's a whole sort of carnival where there's tons of rides and tons of games and fun houses. And, it's a carnival.
Yeah, that's called Oide Wiesn.
Yeah. And it's it's a lot of fun. Some of the rides are a little maybe wonky. So, but the carnival rides, I mean, it's very, yes, some of them are wonky, but it's very like vintagey, old school carnival.
So then we went back the following day during the day.
Uh-huh.
So it was a little bit more tame. That's when we all went and did rides.
Yeah. And there's a ton of them and of all different sizes and shapes and thrill level.
That's when Dylan thought he was going to die.
Yeah, because we went on this spinny ride, and he and I both love spinny rides, but he was 10, so he's, pretty small, and it was spinning, and I'm screaming like a fool, like having a great time, and he's screaming. And then I realized, oh no, he's not screaming out of fun. He's screaming out of terror. And so I then, tried to make him feel like I was holding him in, which was not really necessary, but there was definitely a fright factor.
And in the old carnivals, I don't know if you were saying this already, but a lot of them are going back to like the early days of Oktoberfest.
Yeah, it's like a vintage, old schooly, yeah.
And one of the rides that was it just Jaden and Dylan? Did Rod do it?
I don't remember.
So you stand in
Jonathan
did. You stand in a box. Like the box,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And you got
a
cage. And you've got to use your momentum to push yourself like a swing. But if you get it going, it will go all the way around full 360.
But yeah, I mean, there's just kind of something for everyone. Like, and it's old school, easy fun.
You should tell them about the fun house. You tell it way better than I do. About everybody standing outside the fun house.
Well, is that weird though? Is it weird?
Well,
to say that?
we should warn the people. We should warn the ladies.
Okay, so
it's all in good spirit.
Yeah, so there's one thing that it took me a minute to catch on to, but I'm not a funhouse person. So Aaron and Dylan, and I think Jonathan and Jaden went in with you too. So Rod and I are kind of standing out in front waiting for you guys. And there's I would say 4 or 5 sort of older men standing with us, and don't think anything about it. And people are coming out, and every so often, this, because you walk over like a vent when you get down to the bottom of the stairs, and so every so often a woman would come out and be like, "Woo!" and like her skirt would blow up, and everybody would start clapping. Well, not everyone. I didn't start clapping. And then I realized, it took me a minute, but I realized that these men had a little button that had a little air thing. And so they waited for women with skirts to come down the stairs, and then they got to hear them go, "Woo!"
Just kind of like you in Florence.
Oh my God. Story for another day. But the moral of that story is, if you're at Oktoberfest and you're having a good time, wear pants.
Or if you're wearing your dirndl,
oh yeah,
make sure you got little booty shorts on underneath it.
Booty shorts.
Make sure you're covered.
Or just hold your skirt down when there's a lot of men standing over next to a grate. Anyway,
so then I went back with Rod and Jaden.
Mm-hmm.
Did Dylan go with us that time?
No, he stayed home with me.
I went back a second time because my brother's friends took a river cruise down to Oktoberfest, and we had an equally good time.
Well, the thing about the other kinds of beer halls too, remember like everywhere we went to lunch, it was like the same structure.
Yeah.
Away from Oktoberfest, but it was the same structure as a beer hall. Like there was long communal tables.
Entertainment.
That's
where we found out your last name is associated with an accordion.
I thought for a hot minute that I was heir to a massive accordion fortune. And it turns out, no. But yeah, so the communal and the vibe of Oktoberfest goes throughout a lot of Germany, but particularly throughout Munich. So, and then other things, we were, each time it was just for a weekend, right? Because even when you went with Rod and Jaden, it was just for the weekend. So, we didn't get a ton of time to explore Munich in its entirety, but obviously because we were there on a weekend, Sundays, nothing.
The theme of all of our podcasts pretty much are when you arrive in France, Switzerland, Austria, or Germany especially, nothing is open on Sundays.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So Oktoberfest is.
Yes.
But like on the streets.
That church was open.
Yeah.
Which I don't.
Because it was Sunday.
Oh, that's true. Off the top of my head, I don't know the name of the church. I've got pictures of it. I'll figure it out. It'll be on the blog post. One of the most spectacular churches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
right in the middle of the old town.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
But I think for the most part, this period, 17 to 20 days of Oktoberfest, it's really about Oktoberfest. There's not a whole lot going on in the rest of the city. Wait, where did you stay with your brother? You stayed at a hotel.
We stayed at a different hotel, which was equally as nice, not as close to the grounds.
Okay. And then my nephew stayed at the hotel like right down the street from us, which is the Hotel Daniel, which you were going to put on too.
And I'm also going to put that restaurant we ate at because they had
like 4 times.
Yeah, they had the best Wiener Schnitzel, and you got some stew, or Jonathan got some stew.
Well, and your brother got the pork knuckle.
Yeah, I mean the food. We ate there a lot. It was so good.
Yeah. Again, very big tables. They weren't communal tables, but like big chunky, like picnic tables, basically. So yeah, I would say,
some tips. You should book everything early. The hotels fill up fast. The tents fill up fast. Like 6 million people are in and out of there in 17 days. So book early. You can buy the Lederhosen and the Dirndl in Munich for a reasonable price if you want to like join in. They also sell fun stuff at the actual festival. You can get all the souvenirs you want. The Steins. My brother got a chicken hat where the chicken legs moved for the chicken dance. So you can get all that there and go early if you have a family because it is very family friendly. Like it is. Said.
Yeah. So it is for all ages. It is for the leave your troubles behind and go just enjoy yourself. Like dance, sing, cheers. I mean, it really is an enormous party that's so worth going to and so worth experiencing and something that you will truly never forget.
Would you go again?
Unless you drink too much beer.
Would you go again?
Maybe, but probably not because I think there's diminishing returns with something like this because the first time it like blew me away and it was so fun. It was just so much fun and it was such unlike anything I'd ever done before. And then I enjoyed seeing it through different eyes of everybody else being the first time.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And doing it with a kid because obviously I wasn't doing a ton of rides when I was there when I was 20. But I think that might be it for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to go back to Munich when Oktoberfest is not happening.
Right.
Because I thought it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess this is it. But if you guys have any good Oktoberfest stories that you want to share with us, go to the website and leave us a comment because I like hearing funny stories.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Go to Oktoberfest and we'll see you next time.
And go to our website, the www.thegetawayswithaz.com.
And thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.